What's up, everybody? Ryan Fowler joined by Damian, Parson of the Draft Network. And today we are pounding the table for a few guys that are expected to hear their names called on day one. Damian, Julius Brents. For me, it's Joey Porter Jr. Damian, I'll let you start and pound the table for Kansas State's Julius Brents.
Man, Julius Brents, 6'3", 200 pounds, 34 on the arm. And my first real exposure of him was down in Mobile, and watching him in one-on-ones for a tall, long-legged corner. He moved well. He was patient. He was technically sound. He understood. I have 34-inch arms. I can play and I can box I can jab you and you can't get inside. And he did a great job with all those different body types in terms of receivers down in Mobile at the Senior Bowl, man. Just the way he moved, he was fluid. The change of direction kind of surprised me as well, because for a 6'3", 200-pound corner, you don't expect him to move the way he was able to, and he really shined to me down in Mobile.
Yeah, for me, look, Joey Porter Jr., Penn State, right? We can talk all we want about the lineage, right, with his father and the dominant athlete that he was at the second level for the Steelers for a long, long time. But now we're focusing on the junior, right? Joey Porter Jr., corner from Penn State, as I mentioned. Nittany Lion was a stud up in Happy Valley. Just look, 34-inch arms, just like Julius Brents. And at times for me, when we scout these guys, I want to see if guys make it look easy. How easy does it come for guys? I don't care if we're looking at a quarterback or, in this case, looking at a corner in a CB1 and a guy that can potentially shut down a third of the side of his field. There are some technical deficiencies and some effort things at time where I think he gets a little bit lazy. But for me, Damian, it just looks too easy for him. And you're looking for that atypical corner that can work in zone and then use those long arms and inside that contact window to reroute, whether he's working on a receiver or someone wants to flex out a tight end to his size of the field. He can work against them too. So just extremely fluid in his lower half, ability to flip his hips. Again, not the most athletic guy in this class. I think he has reactive athleticism more so than that athletic profile. But Joey Porter Jr. for me is just one of the guys that I'm going to pound the table for in this class. I know we've heard some things behind the scenes that may shy away from teams on day one. But for me, Joey Porter Jr., and for you, for Julius Brents, I know you're big on Julius more than I am on Joey. With those two guys comparing each other, kind of what separates Julius just a little bit more than you taking a case on Joey Porter?
I think Julius's process as a corner is better and more consistent, right? Like I said, to be, when you trust your speed, you can be as patient as you want. When you know that, hey, I have the arm length, I can stay in the hip pocket and stay in phase. And I think Brents does a great job of that. I talked earlier about, at the beginning about his change of direction. He ran a 6'6" in the three cone at 6'3", 200 pounds. Yeah. Like, he shouldn't be able to change and turn and move like that, Ryan. And guys, I really, like I said, watching him in person. And when you see the different receivers, the Jonathan Mingo, the Tank Dells, the Jaden Reeds, and to watch him soft press and soft shoot, and then when he wants to, he gets up on you and he gives you that physical press. And then listening to him, he's got that dog in him. He's such a motivated kid, and it's like it's a little different because Porter has that lineage, right? Brents doesn't have that Hall of Fame-esque type of, father in some Steelers' eyes, at least when it comes to Joey Porter. He doesn't have that. So, like, for him, he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. And I think about Tariq Woolen, right? Teams got cute with him. We talk about that a lot. Teams got cute with him last year. I think teams will correct their mistakes and look at a Julius Brents where you could play cover 3 zone, but also bring him up against the DeAndre Hopkins, the Courtland Suttons, these big receivers, and he could play man-to-man without any issues.
Yeah, I think you talked about the long strides, and I think that with Joey as well. I think you watch these guys elongate their strides in space when they have to stay neutral. Now, I love both with Brents and Joey as far as their ability to stay neutral in their base 10, 15 yards in their back pedal. Really marionetting the receiver. You want to go inside? That's fine. You want to go outside? I can break out there and I can click and close and T-step whatever I have to do to make a play on the football. But you watch both these guys run in space. And like you said, you're not supposed to move like that if you're that big. Both these guys move extremely well for their size. But Damian, another name, I know I like Joey a lot, you like Julius, but another name potentially maybe late round 1 because of his ball production or early day 2, similar build, is Emmanuel Forbes from Mississippi State. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on Emmanuel as far as a guy potentially day 1?
former wide receiver, and it shows. At 6'1", he weighed in at 166, but he plays closer to around 173, 175, and he's explosive. Really good athlete, and he runs routes for receivers because he's a former receiver. And then you see it with his ball skills. His instincts may be the best in the class, whether it's playing from off coverage and playing flat-footed to read short, quick in breakers and jumping on passes, or playing just straight man-to-man coverage, staying in the hip pocket, making the quarterback believe that it's open, and then he shuts the door, right? Yeah. And I think, if I remember correctly, he has the FBS record for the most pick sixes in his career with 6. Yeah. You know, and this is a young man that's really competitive despite the slim size. He will not be afraid to come up and hit in the run game or in the quick screen game. So, man, he's a really talented player. And if you want ball skills, he's got that dog in him as well. You see him jawing, you see him talking. He talks trash. He gets in the faces of receivers. He's got that swag, Ryan.
Yeah, I don't think there's another guy in this class. You're a team that wants ball production and get it back to your offense. Not a better guy in this class than Emmanuel Forbes. And I think that's why he may sneak into day one. One of those guys that we're projecting right now, early day 2. But teams just want to get the ball back to their offense because since the dawn of time, most points wins, right? Got to get the ball back to your offense. Now, he's been in the end zone multiple times himself, but all 3 guys, right? Joey Porter Jr., Julius Brents, those are 2 guys we're pounding the table for. We're going to have more of these segments coming up for you guys on the Draft Network. Make sure you keep it locked at TDN all spring long as we move it closer towards the 2023 NFL Draft.